All right, I want to welcome everybody in. We are doing a virtual Chalk Talk Toledo Walleye version. Glad to have you along, everyone. Matt Melzak. I've got the head coach of the Toledo Walleye, Dan Watson. You see him on screen there. I've got the vice president and general manager, Neil Newcomb, as well here, gentlemen. First off, thanks for taking the time. If we get some, I want to throw this out there before we get too far into anything. If people have questions, things they want answered, they can fire those into the comments section. We'll try to get to those tonight with those gentlemen. Kyle Mull is standing by. If there's any ticket questions as well, we'll bring Kyle in to help you out with those. So obviously we'll be looking forward to hearing a lot from the fans. We got a lot of questions, things to talk about tonight as we've got a big announcement that will be coming in this very program. We're going to do it very shortly. But first, gentlemen, as we are obviously sitting here right now, Dan, you and I'd probably be in Brampton normally or something at this point of the year, but instead we're sitting here chatting because we know we did not get a chance to play hockey this season. And you think back, this is actually the 1-year anniversary from the last walleye game, which was March 11th of 2020. The game and the date that kind of changed everything over the last year. Neil, I'll start with you. What do you remember about that night taking on the Cincinnati Cyclones with an empty building?
Great question, Matt. Good to see you too, by the way, and Dan, and thanks for being on. But and real quickly, just I see a number of people coming on and providing some comments. Drake, Michelle, Heather, and so forth. So thank you for joining us. But to your question, Matt, yeah, I tell you, it seems almost like yesterday, right? I mean, it was a year ago today. For me personally, I just remember probably more vividly kind of that eerie feeling, walking around the arena and, you're so used to seeing the, a full house of fans in the stands and on the concourse and just all the life of the arena. And that night, obviously it all got sucked out, if you will, and there was just nothing there. So it really felt very bizarre to me. And then I guess outside of the hockey piece, it really started to hit me at some point too about, I think, just life in general, because there was a lot of question marks and things that were going on in the world right about that time. And, I started thinking about, forget hockey for a moment, but where are we going in the world right now and what's going to happen? And who on earth would have guessed back, a year ago that we would have experienced what we've done and have had experienced over the last 12 months or so. So that's probably some of my more vivid memories of that time.
Dan, do you remember what you kind of said to the team and what it was like to coach in that environment that night?
No, I do, Matt, and Neil and Matt, great to see you guys. But that night was extremely surreal. I know fans were probably on the way to their arena that night to cheer us on against a really good Cincinnati team. And I think the message was, when we found out there was going to be no fans, was just, this is a mental toughness game. Everything's got to come from within. We've got to be able to self-motivate. We have to make sure that energy and that passion for the game is still there. It was a big game. First place in terms of percentage points were on the line. So it was a game that we wanted to win and needed to win regardless of who was in the building. Obviously, if I remember correctly, the first period wasn't too kind to us. So in between the first and second, I think the players realized that, it's still a game, it still needs to be played. And we came out firing in that first minute and a half, 2 minutes of the second period, if I remember the right way, and scored 3 goals off the rush and kind of found our game and got into there. So I think that I give a ton of credit to our players that night. There wasn't much I could do as a coach outside of try to explain to them how different it's going to feel. We're very, very blessed and honored to have as many fans and fanatics that we have game in and game out, and it is going to feel totally different from that atmosphere. And it was something that we needed to figure out. And to be quite honest, I personally felt that Cincinnati had the leg up coming into our building with no one in there, especially off the start. But then, we got going and got the win, and that was the main thing. But like everyone's talked about, the uncertainty after that game certainly set in. And then, a year later, here we are, still not playing hockey, but looking forward to getting back at it.
All right, we got a lot of people that have checked in on this, and we thank you so much. And you can keep sending those questions along. We're going to get to those as we go through this program, but I know a lot of people tuned in because, well, we've kind of got a pretty big announcement to get out there. Neil, I'm going to give you the floor to make this announcement.
Well, Matt, I tell you, we're excited to share with everybody on the program here. Credit to Andy and Amanda back in the office. They've took off their shoes and their socks and pulled out the abacus and carried the one. And I think we figured out after it's all said and done, after about what will be 615 days without walleye hockey, we are going to suit up T-Town and be ready to play. Saturday night, November 6th, will be the home opener at the Huntington Center against the Kalamazoo Wings. So we are ready to go. We're excited. We can't wait to get back on the ice and see everybody back in the arena. And we hope that things continue to move forward in a positive direction in the world. And we're looking forward to being back, though. So it's an exciting announcement to be able to share with everybody today.
All right, looking forward to that. That'll be the home opener, November the 6th this year. Dan, we got the stat machines fired up. We went back, looked into the record book as well to see how many times Toledo and Kalamazoo played a lot over the years. The all-time record is in Toledo's favor. There it is, 61, 45, and 13. Believe it or not, this will only be the second time Toledo is playing Kalamazoo on a home opener. The Walleye won the first one. That was back on October 13, 2012. I'm sure you remember that game, Dan. 4-1 win, by the way, for the good guys. But, yeah, only the second time we've played Kalamazoo on a home opener.
It's crazy to think that the amount of times we've played, over 100, that and the proximity, that we've only played them twice on a home opener. And I'm excited to play Kalamazoo. Nick Bootland, the head coach for Kalamazoo, he does a great job. And he and I are friends and former teammates. And I know that, our teams bring out the best of each other. And so I expect nothing but a great game and a lot of excitement come that November 6th.
Yeah, looking forward to that for sure. By the way, that was the first time, Dan, I don't know if you recall this, we lost the first three home openers in the Huntington Center, but got that win against Kalamazoo, kind of changed things around. The home opener record, Toledo all-time, 5-5-1 to start home seasons. And then the under you, Dan, as the head coach, 3-0-1.
Hey, something we talk about and preach, meeting number one, is we've got to take care of home ice, and we want to make sure that we put on a show for our fans and play competitive hockey. And I like those last two graphics better than the first one, I can tell you that. So it is, and our guys know that and understand that through training camp, that the Huntington Center is a special place. Home openers are a special time for friends and family and everyone to get together for the fall season. And we're looking forward to it. I'm sure there's gonna be some big plans involved, but I'll make sure the guys are ready so we can get that to 4-0-1.
And looking forward to that against Kalamazoo. Let's check in on, Dan, some of the players that we've got playing around the league right now. Of course, once the announcement came down that we were not playing, those players all became free agents. Some have chosen to sign with other teams, and certainly this says a lot about what kind of a team we were going to have here, Dan, with the fact that these guys have wanted to go and sign with other players, and other teams wanted those guys.
Yeah, obviously their first choice was to play in Toledo, and when that didn't happen, it was a lot of hard work. It was a couple weeks. It wasn't overnight by any means, but I think as teams realize that the type of character, number one, that these people are and these players are, that's first and foremost. And obviously the skill itself. I thought we had a really good team coming into Toledo this year. I'm happy they found homes. They're doing something that they love. Hopefully, a few of them can win a championship or at least get to that final spot. It just adds even more experience into the fold for next year if they come back. So I really like that our guys, they ventured out and are playing in other places and getting that competitive spirit back.
All right, Dan, we're going to go through some of the players that are playing around in just a little bit that are playing with other teams. But obviously, with the announcement of us having a home opener on the schedule now for November 6th, Neil, we're going to get this question a lot. I know we've already gotten it a lot. What we're looking at, we just did this a couple weeks ago on the hen side, talking about a lot about capacity. Same thing here. What's the capacity going to look like? Do we know? And obviously, I'll let you answer that.
Right. Well, no, thanks, man. I mean, where we're sitting at right now, you can read the media and so forth in the state of Ohio and the regulations and protocols they have set in. Right now, indoor venues are at 25% capacity and outdoor venues are at 30% capacity. So at the minimum, we would probably be looking at the 25%. But obviously, at the end of the day, that's still a lot of speculation. I mean, we're talking, we're March 11th. We have a number of months before the puck would drop. So obviously those things are probably going to change, we would assume, drastically, over the course of the next several months. So, to give an exact number of what that will be based on where we're at today, come November 6th, again, I think it would all be speculation. Our hope is going to be that we'd be back to the highest capacity that the state will allow any indoor venues to be at that point in time. So if that's 100%, awesome, right? It'd be fantastic. If it's not 100%, then we'll work and we'll deal with the cards that are dealt to us. But we're hoping to be at 100%. But again, a lot of things can change between now and then. So we'll wait and see.
Yeah, certainly a long way to go, and hopefully we do get to that point. Great job there, Neil. I just wanted to get that out there early here because of the fact that we're going to get that question a lot. So, we may even get it a few more times before we wrap up this program tonight. Dan wanted to talk a little bit about some of the players that are playing around the rest of the league. Some of them, including Billy Christopoulos, have gotten calls to another league. So a goaltender there that, we kind of picked up early on in that season of 2019-20 and really excelled in a walleye uniform and continues to excel.
Yeah, I mean, that could be one of the biggest and best trades and pickups in walleye history right here, to be honest with you. But I'm so thrilled and happy for Billy that he's, number one, he's playing. He found a spot. It's so tough at the goaltender position to find a spot if you're not on an American League or NHL contract. So for him to do the things that he's doing right now and getting that call up to Henderson, I know he got sent back just today and will be in Indy for their game tonight. But I'm so proud of that. He got that opportunity to get up there, practice, get his name on the transaction list, get to be a backup in an AHL building. And it's all credit to him and what he does on the ice and more specifically off the ice, his dedication, his commitment. I'm sure that's the Air Force background, the discipline that he has as well is incredible and just an unbelievable human being.
And another goaltender that has really done well and his career's taken off since coming to Toledo, and that's Pat Nagle. He's done great at the start of the season for Grand Rapids. They haven't been playing long, but he's getting a lot of time.
Yeah, and what a great story, for Pat. And he came over as a hated rival in Fort Wayne and came over and won the hearts over of our fans and our team and our coaching staff. And at he's getting better with age. It's like fine wine, I think is what they say, right? So he's found his game. He's a confident goaltender. He trusts goals. He's really come into his own. And when he got that opportunity, he's a guy that seizes that moment. And you could see in that playoff run we had all the way to the finals how confident he was. And I think that set him up for success the next year. And when he got that opportunity, I was so happy for him that he performed well, earned another contract. That wasn't given. He earned that contract for this season. And now he's their go-to guy in Grand Rapids. So good for him. He's got a young family. I know he just had a newborn not too long ago, to be honest with you. So life is changing. That's part of the great things about being a coach. You get to see these guys move on and see their real life change in front of them as well. So congrats to Nags and everything he's doing, and hope for more continued success.
Dan, I want to stick with you on players for a moment because I've had this question asked a lot of me, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering, those players that have gone on to sign with other teams, 16 of them that were already signed by the Toledo Walleye, what in turn ends up happening to them at the end of this season, and what do you have to do to bring them back to the Walleye?
Yeah, so when the season finishes, when the ECHL season finishes, all the players that I had signed for this past season their rights will come back to us. That doesn't mean that they're all going to play in Toledo next season, but at least we'll have their ECHL rights. We'll have the first opportunity to sign them and talk contracts with them. But Matt, you know just as well as I do how this league works and how the players work, that if you have a great season, maybe there's an opportunity to move on. And so we'll continue to monitor that like we are right now and see where guys are going. But I think I'm excited to have the opportunity to talk and recruit and hopefully sign as many of these players as we can back. They've got another year of experience under their belt. Some of them are in really, really good spots with great coaches. So their development process is still speeding up. But we will get their rights back, and then let's see how many we can sign to bring to Toledo.
A lot of questions are pouring in right now. We want to get to some of those. We want to bring in Kyle Mull right now because we have a season ticket question from Jim. How do we get our season tickets if I'm already a season ticket holder, Kyle? There you go, Kyle.
There we are. Thanks, Matt. First time, right? That's a great question. Anybody that was a ticket holder with us for the last couple of seasons here, if they were a ticket holder in the 1920 season and you carried that into the 2021 season or what was going to become, you're set. So you're going to be getting some information here, either via email, through the mail, about your ticket plan. What that'll look like, if you have your credits down and how that'll transfer. All that information's coming. But the number one thing I want any of our ticket holders to know is that if you were in and you were paid, you are good to go. If you paused with us during before the season had started or was planned to start last year, you're good. Just know that we've got you taken care of. We're going to be sending out that information. So you'll see some other things that we're going to be doing to engage fans, but just know that our ticket holders are part of our first step of our plan.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Having a little issue there with Kyle's connection, but yes, basically to sum that up, there's going to be information sent to everyone that's a season ticket holder, and that'll take you through that going forward in the process there. Tonight, if you're just joining us, November 6th will be the home opener against the Kalamazoo Wings. That's the big announcement that we had for you on this program tonight. Neil, the follow-up question goes to you. When can we expect to see a full 2021-22 schedule?
All right. Well, Matt, we'll probably see it here. It could probably be in the next few weeks or so. The ECHL had worked hard on wanting to get home openers out there and get that part of the schedule out to all the teams to be able to share that with their fan bases and all the markets. So they are working diligently on the schedule. So I would assume we'll probably see a first version of that schedule probably within, I'd say, the next couple of weeks or so. Doesn't mean it will be the final version because usually there's some tweaks that get associated with it. Some dates might get changed or whatnot. So, I would just say probably just be patient. I would probably say a final schedule probably within the next month.
All right. Thank you, Neil. Hey, don't forget that you can send us questions here if you have some for Dan, Neil. Kyle is here as well to talk about tickets and those questions. Neil Otto asks, what about Winterfest? Okay. We need to know.
Yeah, well, good question, Otto. It's scheduled. We obviously we didn't have it this past year, which we were scheduled to do. So the intent is to play it in December of 21. Pretty much the same time frame. Nothing's changed. We're looking at the December 17th up through January 2nd time frame. We're still scheduled. to play 2 outdoor games over at Fifth Third Field, just like we did the previous one. So we are still scheduled for Winterfest, and we're looking forward to it. So yes, it's back. It's up and going.
I love that answer right there, Neil. That's great stuff. I knew some people were going to say that, wondering about Winterfest. I'm glad we're going to be ready to go on that. Dan, I don't know if you want to handle this question. Scott Gage is asking, how many ECHL teams folded?
Right now, one. I mean, Brampton's the only one that made the announcement, and I know, Neil, you're part of those meetings there, but from around the league, that's all I've heard so far right now. That announcement came, and all their players became free agents. And it's always a tough thing. It's always hard to lose a team out of a league, and I've got a lot of respect for Spiros Anastas and his coaching staff. They had a great team last year. So you don't like to see coaches lose their jobs in that type of fashion, but as of right now, the Beast are gone, and everyone else remains, and obviously the addition of 2 new teams as well, Matt.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and a lot of people don't realize that Toledo is actually the closest opponent for the Brampton Beast over the years, as far as mileage.
Yeah, those are fun. The 2:00 Sunday games after the Saturday night home game, but yeah, I enjoyed.
You and I enjoyed those, Dan. You and I enjoyed those.
And being from Canada, being from around that area, I always had some family and friends come to those games. A lot of our guys, we have a lot of Toronto guys, and so it was always a place that our players felt comfortable in because they always had family and friends around them. So sad to see them go. But like I said, 2 new teams are going to take the Beast spot, and the league's going to continue to move on.
All right, Dan, to follow up here on the players' side of things, has there been any benefit to you to kind of being when you're coaching, you're focused on your team and the teams you're playing, but to be able to just sit back and watch and scout a lot of games, has that been helpful at all?
Oh, it's been probably helpful, and on a positive way and a negative way. I sometimes feel like I'm watching too much, but I think my main focus and concentration right now today is watching the players that we could have back, creating a good development plan for those players, and then also recruiting is well underway. So watching video of the seniors who are currently playing NCAA. Hopefully the OHL gets going. I can watch some of the overagers in the major junior WHL and the Quebec League as well. And any other name that crosses our desk. And in American League games, looking at players who are on 1-year deals that, they might not get a contract next year. So watching a ton of players, a ton of hockey, looking at systems, making sure nothing goes missed in terms of, what's new, what's trending, what works, what doesn't. So I'm in front of my computer and in front of the TV pretty much every single night. And I enjoy it, though. I enjoy watching video, breaking things down, breaking the skills of players down, and really just trying to figure out who is going to fit best in a big walleye year coming up.
Continue to send us questions you have for Dan, Neil. Kyle is here as well. We're going to bring Kyle in to answer one of these questions. Matthew had tickets to a promo game last year that gave away a lunchbox. What does he do with those?
Another great question. So number one, I'm going to want everyone to pay attention to the email you used to purchase those tickets initially. You will be getting an email sometime, most likely over summer, as we get a little bit closer once the schedule is released. We get a little bit closer to the actual season. We'll be sending you out an email with information on how to redeem those credits that you have on your account. So we've already taken it and created accounts for everyone who had a single game ticket purchase, whether it was a promo item or a single game itself from those lost 9 games. You're going to have that already preloaded for you. Instructions will be coming through. If for some reason you have any trouble with that, you can always give our front office a call and we'll help you troubleshoot on how to get into that account.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Hopefully that helps with some of those questions as well. We got another one here. This one's for Dan, and this will be a fun one. Nick asks, what about bringing Brian Moore back to Toledo?
Oh, Brian Moore, obviously a fan favorite, a character. He did a lot to help us get to where we got to 1920 season, and earned himself another American League contract in Cleveland. But he signed in Greenville, was traded to Wichita, did not report down there. So right now, Wichita has the rights, his ECHL rights. So there's nothing we can do at this point in terms of bringing Brian back. I will put this out there, in terms of signing players, we cannot sign players until July 9th. I know that's always a hot topic in terms of the Walleye announcing player signings and when am I signing players and everything like that. So July 9th is the first date that we can actually sign players to an ECHL contract. But specifically with Brian Moore, it would have to be a trade to Wichita to acquire his ECHL rights.
And obviously you saw the news, Kyle Bonus retiring. Any thoughts on that?
Well, Kyle's such a special player for us. Everyone I remembers his overtime shorthanded goal that sort of got us going in the right direction in terms of playoff success. I also think Kyle's an unbelievable human being, one of the best guys I've been around in terms of wanting to be the best for the team. And so he's going to have a phenomenal career at whatever he chooses outside of hockey. He is local in the Toledo area. He won't be a stranger to the Huntington Center. I can tell you that right now. Hockey's in his blood for life. And so I think, people and fans will still get that opportunity to say hello, keep tabs on his life and what he's doing. But such a inspirational and positive human being around our locker room that will be missed. He is one of the leaders of our group, and that's one thing we take pride in is having success within our locker room, but when they retire, having success out of it. And he's going to be one of those guys.
All right, Dan, the next question is going to go to you. I'm not going to ask it though. I'm going to let Neil take it. Neil, you have a question?
Yeah. Hey, Dan, I got a question, or maybe you can comment. You and I had talked probably about a week and a half ago, and we were commenting, and you were talking about the players who are elsewhere and playing elsewhere, and talking about how those guys still are rather engaged with, the Walleye in terms of social media and watching and listening and reading what people are talking about. And could you just talk about that a little bit? Because, you made the comment to me that a lot of those guys love to know that they are loved, if you will, in Toledo, and they appreciate the fans and that support that the fans always continue to show those guys, and how that would probably even help make your job easier to be sure those guys do want to come back to Toledo. Could you talk about that briefly?
Well, I certainly can. I think it's Toledo is very unique in the fact that it's not a huge city. The players are well known within the community. They understand that and know that. And like you talked about, Neil, they want to feel the love. They do. It brings positivity. It gives them confidence. And I think what the Walleye have done, and specifically on our website, you can always keep tabs every Monday. There's an update on where they are, what they're doing, how they're performing. I can guarantee you that they check up on those stats themselves. They look for those comments. And, the big part of why players want to play in Toledo is the fans. Number one, and the atmosphere that the fans provide inside the Huntington Center is second to none. There isn't another building in this league that does that, and they understand that. And so the recruiting aspect and part of my job becomes easier when you have players who have played against us. It's a Saturday night. There's over 8,000 people in the building. They love that atmosphere. They want to play for that atmosphere. And so once they started signing with us, they started following the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and they certainly read the comments. And I know they appreciate everyone welcoming them into Toledo, into the Walleye organization. And I know they're keeping tabs on all these types of updates that are happening for next year, without losing focus of what their job and priority is right now. And that's to win a Kelly Cup for the team that they play for, and hopefully bring that experience back to Toledo next year.
Well, great, Dan. At this point, I don't know if we need Matt Melzak any longer. So let me go to the next one. No, go ahead.
I'm out of here. I'll let you take over, Neil. Actually, the next question, I want to bring Kyle back in for just when, we made the announcement earlier. Neil, you did a great job with that, by the way. I really am not needed out of this whole thing. We should just let you do this. The way you've handled the announcement and now questions. But Kyle, I want to bring you in for the next one. When would tickets go on sale? Do we have any idea in that world right now?
Little early for that right now. The number one thing that we want to get done is taking care of our ticket holders, getting everybody through. But what you can do right now is if you head to ToledoWalleye.com, you can actually go on and sign up for a few different things. You can sign up for the information, text alerts, and I would strongly encourage you to do that, to sign up for the text alerts and find out exactly when our single game tickets go on sale. And there's also going to be some opportunities for you to go in there and when you're ready to put a group together, we've got our team standing by. You can head in there and sign up for more information when group sales become available. And then most importantly, we've had such an outstanding response from our ticket holders over the last couple of seasons and everyone that's stuck in there with us that we actually have a wait list for our season tickets coming up this year. So check out ToledoWalleye.com. You'll be able to put down a deposit, get put on the wait list, and we'll start reaching out to you as soon as we're able to.
And again, we'll mention the fact that if you have questions for any of our guests, feel free to leave those in the comments section. We'll get to them. Neil, when you got the news that we were going to be able to put a date out there, how excited were you to know we can announce something to the fans now that we're going to have a date to shoot for?
Well, man, I mean, it was very exciting. I mean, particularly over the last several months, it's all been doom and gloom and all the negativity that's happened over the last 10 months to a year. And, which just makes me, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention, I can't say enough to the fan base of Toledo, the corporate partners and our partners there at the Huntington Center. Everybody has been fantastic. I can't express how much we appreciate everyone's patience. I know it's been a challenge for many in our community. It's been a challenge for us as an organization. But the fact of how everybody's been able to kind of work together and work through it, I can't say enough how much we appreciate that. I realize as an organization, we strive to be perfect. We're not always perfect. But we do, again, appreciate everyone's patience. If you are having issues and you're not getting answers to what you need, you got to let us know. You can go to the website. My email is there. Kyle's email is out there. I mean, you just don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll do our best to get back to you. But sometimes it's a little more difficult with we're not running at a full staff right now, and so sometimes it may not get back to you as quickly as we like. But I assure you we'll do our best to get back to you. But again, I can't express enough of gratitude and thanks for everybody through this time. And we're going to get through it, and we're going to be there, and we're going to be ready to play. So going back to your question, it was an exciting moment to be able to get that from the league and realize when we were going to be able to play. So, but great question. Thank you.
Yeah, some great questions that are starting to filter in. Dan, you seem to be very popular on some of these. I don't know if you're able to answer with the new teams coming into the league, how they are able to pick players, or does it all kind of go into the same pot that, you're going to be trying to go through?
No, that's exactly right. Much like the 09-10 Walleye team, the head coach or general manager, whoever's going to be handling the recruiting aspect of it, will be handling signing everybody. It's not like the NHL where there's a draft and everything like that. It comes down to the head coach's or general manager's job to find those players or the affiliate. So my dog wants to be part of the conversation, apparently. But that's how that works. And they've got a big job to do. It really is a tough job, and you want to be successful right off the hop. But what an exciting time.
We do sometimes have the dogs come to the rink there, Waddy. So, you could bring a dog to the games. Neil's fine with that, right?
Yeah. Oh, Watson's back. Okay, he disappeared for me.
I'm back.
And we love the dogs.
We were just saying, you could bring your dog to the game, be fine.
Yeah, if anyone's around the arena during practice days, you know that dogs are welcome around our arena, even all the time. So we have players who bring their dogs, and hey, man's best friend.
That's right. I think we've all done that at some point, right? For practice days, it's kind of fun. One
It
of those
is.
things people don't realize, but yes, players do it. Staff does it. It's fun.
You know what? It keeps things light. It really does. It sometimes takes their minds off things, and you see the dogs playing around, or they'll literally run from player to player to player. They chase some tennis balls around there, and it's a family atmosphere. That's what we want to create. From the organization, from the top down, and the front office staff, right through to all our players. It's a family friendly organization, and that's not different within the confines of the locker room.
And I see one of these questions, Dan. Could you update us on TJ Hensick at all?
I talked to TJ, and obviously he's going to be a guy that's going to probably wait until one of the last minute decisions. He's got a family now, his 3 children. Not playing this year, but I know he's skating and still working out as if he is playing or trying to. So the veteran status of all our guys, I mean, Kyle retired. Shane is in a crossroads as well. Same with TJ. So it's going to be one of those things that I monitor and continue to have open communication with our players and see what life looks like come October when training camp opens up.
And obviously, we've had a lot of the questions on the new cities, the new teams that are coming into the league, and whether we think that it'll be on the Walleye schedule. Obviously, we don't know that yet. Neil, you told us we don't even have a full schedule yet. We just have an opening night. But is it possible with the new cities in? Can we talk about those, Neil?
Yeah, no, there's nothing there to hide. Except the pronunciation of the teams. The one is easy for me, the Coralville, Iowa club. But then the one up in Quebec, Trois-Rivières, I believe.
Or Three Rivers.
Is that French for Three Rivers? Yes, exactly. So, but no, I mean, the Coralville club and even the one in Quebec, I think it's going to fit into the geographic map, if you will, for Toledo. So I don't know if it'll be the same scenario as what Brampton was, but I mean we're kind of in the middle of it all there again. So and then of course those are 2 teams that are going to be coming on board for the upcoming season, the 21-22. And then there was the announcement by the league recently of the Savannah team that will take to the ice in Georgia in 22-23. So new teams and new markets. So it'll be exciting to see some different clubs in the future.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Dan, we got a lot of people loving Andy Delmore on the comments section. Have you talked to Andy lately?
We probably talk every other day, if not every day. We're close and great friends, and have had that friendship and relationship since way back in our Sarnia Sting days. So he's doing well. He's in Windsor with his family, and I know he was on a program last 2 nights ago now with the head coach of Maine, who are they're really good friends and talking hockey once again. But yeah, we are always in constant contact with each other. Alden, Brent Bain, the whole staff. It's again, it's that family atmosphere, and everybody's really, really close with each other. So we're always communicating.
Yeah, very very good. Love Andy Delmore. Fantastic. Big Lions fan too, by the way. Just a little secret that he and I share. We get to talk a little Lion football, which is fun. But you're a little closer to the Cleveland Browns, who are on the way up while the Lions are on the way down there, Dan. So he and I can share in the misery then.
Cleveland Browns, bring out football already.
Yeah. Hey, it's all the talk a lot, but tonight we're talking a lot about hockey. This is an interesting question for you, Dan. Joe, Is there a past player that you traded or didn't sign that, given an opportunity, you would sign for this season?
Well, I think traded, no, they're traded for a reason, or not signed for a reason. There's reasons behind everything that aren't made public probably. And I think I learned a lot about icebergs when we were up in Newfoundland. And, what the fans see is that top 10%, and what they don't see is that bottom 90% that we get to see every single day. And so in terms of traded or not brought back, no. Guys I've tried to recruit, yes. I'd love to see some guys in a walleye uniform, and the ones that I want either ended up extremely good and end up with American League contracts, or they're top players getting paid top dollars on other teams. But one thing about Toledo is you can always recruit good players. I think that's where it's built up right now. The expectations and standards of our players are extremely high, and they understand that, and they want to get to a place where they're going to develop and improve. And there's always going to be good players coming to Toledo, and obviously, at our level, almost every player can be replaced. And I know maybe that's a hard thing to understand, sitting at home or if you don't know the league quite as well. But I would say almost you have your Shane Burschbacks. You'll never be able to replace that guy. When he stops playing hockey, he's going to be one that's sorely missed at some point in time. But, there's other players that we've had that have been extremely good that are tough to replace. Josh Kessner, another player, tough to replace, a guy who can score, who can skate. He's a big kid. He sees the ice well, MVP, obviously, of our league for a reason. So there's guys you can't replace, and you do your best to try to bring in guys that can help out in those types of areas. So hopefully that answers your question.
All right, Kyle, I'm going to bring you in for the next question here. March 2020 single game tickets that weren't used. What happens to those?
Yep. Great question. Similar to what we had discussed on the promo items or the promo game tickets, same thing. Keep an eye out on the email that you use to purchase tickets. You're going to get an email from us here, most likely later in summer once the schedule is out, once we have a little bit more information on single game tickets. We'll send you instructions for exactly how to use those credits. So just keep an eye out for that. You will get detailed instructions for exactly how to go into our ticketing system, use your credit that you have from those lost 9 games. And like I said earlier, if you have any questions about that or you can't get logged in, please give us a call here at the offices.
Neil, interesting question coming your way here. Ken Terry asks, do you foresee the youth tournament being part of Winterfest?
I know that Ken Terry guy. He asks the hardball questions.
He does.
Yeah, well, to answer Ken, yes, I think the plan is for the youth hockey tournament to come back and be a part of Winterfest. So we haven't solidified the exact dates yet, but I think last I checked, I believe it was probably going to be the earlier part of Winterfest, but nothing solidified in terms of actual dates as of yet. But the intent would be is to have the youth hockey tournament, yes.
Dan, this next question's an interesting one for you and I because we follow this a little bit more. And I know you would love to see it, as would I, to see the NCAA Frozen Four be here in Toledo.
Well, absolutely. I have a lot of respect for those NCAA teams and the way they play. It is a tough game to play like that every single night, and every game means a lot. But to have some of those teams come into Toledo and play and see the facilities that we have, not only the rink, but the amenities we have below the bowl and behind the scenes in our locker room would be tremendous. And I think Toledo's a hockey city. It's a hockey town. And, I think that the fans would show up and would hopefully show up and show support to these kids and young men that are trying to win a championship at the NCAA level. So I would love to see it. I've actually recruited and signed some kids because they played regional tournaments there in the past. Bowling Green, Miami had some games there. Western Michigan's had some games there. RIT has been there. So, we've gotten some players who have stepped foot and played a game inside the Huntington Center on an NCAA club. So I think that'd be really, really exciting.
And I know a cool note as well, speaking of that came out this week was the 7-year deal between ESPN and the NHL, Dan, a huge exposure deal there for the National Hockey League.
Well, it's all about growth of the game as best as the NHL can do it. And obviously ESPN stepped up and gave them a 7-year deal, which is, that's exciting. That's fantastic. ESPN's obviously one of the leaders in sports, and now the NHL will be one of their big entities that's going to be on TV. I love it. I think growing the game is extremely important to the youth and to anybody that watches hockey. Obviously, I think live hockey is fantastic, but if you can watch one on TV and get good broadcasters and get good, hockey analysts who come on and give their point of view and learn the game, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, some of us can remember some of those great broadcasts that they had back in the 2000s with Gary Thorne calling the games, one of my personal favorites. So certainly enjoy that. All right, Neil, I'm going to finish it up with you here because we have a date to target the home opener. We showed you the graphic earlier. We're going to end on it here tonight. We want to thank everybody that had comments tonight and for tuning in. Neil, once again, give us the date of opening night.
Well, it's right there, Matt. I don't know what else to say. It's Saturday, November 6th. Right there, the graphics right in front of you. Opening night, Saturday, November 6th against the Kalamazoo Wings, right live from the Huntington Center. So we look forward to hopefully having a full house, or as full of a house as we possibly can. Again, it's a moving target still, and we'll continue to work through this over the next several months, but we're looking forward to being back. Looking forward to this.
Thanks again. Go ahead, Neil.
No, and looking forward to those soothing sounds of Matt Melzak.
Well, let's wrap on, I guess, that. What a way to finish tonight. Thank you so much, guys. Dan Watson, Kyle Mall, Neil Newcomb. Hopefully we answered a number of your questions. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we'll have more of these before we get to that home opening night on Saturday, November the 6th, opening night 2021. Keep an eye out at ToledoWalleye.com for more information there. And thank you again, everyone, for tuning in tonight.